All right, 49er fans, let's go and jump into some mailbag questions here on our Q&A. And looks like we got the first one that just popped up from Robert Sampson, who says, sign Jadeveon Clowney for the right price. What is the right price? That's the real question, right? Does he want $3 million a year? Does he want $7 million a year? Because we're at the point now where it's getting a little strange that some of these veterans are not signed. I know Richard Sherman mentioned he wants to get re-signed more towards the draft. This shows that not a lot of teams are interested in paying what these people want, and much like Sherman, Clowney is exactly the same way. Unlike Sherman, Clowney's not been as consistent, right? Sherman at least has played the past couple of years and been somewhat consistent, had some injuries last year, but Clowney has been, good as gracious, has hardly played. 19 tackles, no sacks last year. I would bet you that Clowney wants a lot more money than people are willing to pay. That's why he still remains a free agent, and I think will remain a free agent. Would I like Clowney on the 49ers? Sure, I wouldn't hate it, but at the same time, I have no interest in paying him more money than he deserves. And honestly, he's not worth that much based on the stats than the performance that came in during a Titan in 2020. Super chat right to the front. My man Bryce says, who will replace Kendrick Bourne? I get this question every single week, and I think they're going to draft a wide receiver and hope that he turns out to be the good replacement. There are plenty of options in the draft, right around the 2nd to 4th round. There's a ton of really good options, but I think the hope is that Jalen Hurd can replace Kendrick Bourne, right? I think that's kind of the hope in the end, is that Jalen Hurd turns out to be the number 3 wide receiver, or even better. And then you have a 1-2-3 punch of Ayuk, Samuel, and Jalen Hurd. So I think it's going to be Hurd, but at the same time, I think they will probably draft somebody at some point in the draft, and it will probably be in the 3rd, 4th, or 5th round. Another super chat right to the front. These ones all skip the other questions. DJ Dream and Nocturnal Entertainment. That's a name. How do you know that they went to see Mac Jones and not Najee Harris for 2nd round? I don't know that, but I do know there was a report that Najee Harris thought the Niners would take him at 12 before the Niners traded up. So maybe it was for Najee Harris, but I think you're a little wrong here in saying a 2nd-round draft pick, because Harris is going to go inside the top 25. He's not going to be a 2nd-round guy. If he's there in the 2nd round, like the Falcons at 35, who badly need a running back, will take him. So I like Najee Harris. And again, I think that there was a chance that they were going down to take a look at him during the pro day, even though he was late. There was that whole story about him being late to the pro day. And he didn't really do much on the pro day in terms of actual moving with the football. But still, we all know how good he is. But they wouldn't get him for a 2nd-round draft pick. There's just no way. He's going to be the first running back taken. I would bet a lot of money on that. Okay, get your votes in right now. Quick question here. This is interesting. Over under 10.5 wins for the Niners next season. What do you think? Type O for over, which would mean like 11, 12, 13, 14 wins, a lot of wins, or type U down below for under. Let me know what you guys think. Over under 10.5 wins for the 49ers. I would say right at, like 10 is kind of where I'm hoping right now for San Francisco. So I guess I'd say under, but let me know what you guys think down below. All right, another super chat here comes from Calder with the 10. He says, how would you feel about grabbing Pitts with number 3 and then going for a quarterback 2nd or 3rd round? I feel as a big, reliable target over the middle would help limit Jimmy Garoppolo's struggling throws over the middle. I'm out on Kyle Pitts, and here's the deal. Not because I don't think he's going to be a bad player. I think he's just going to not live up to the hype that the national media has thrusted on him. I did a national interview on SB Nation Radio today talking about Kyle Pitts, and I think the problem with Kyle Pitts is he's going to be like a product of his own success, right? And I think the issue right now is the national media has pumped up Kyle Pitts so high that people want to take him so early, and then you realize that most really good tight ends don't impact their team that much. Like Tony Gonzalez played 16 seasons. Tony Gonzalez has 1 playoff win, and he has like 21 playoff catches. Played for bad teams, but still. Antonio Gates played for 16 seasons. He won 5 playoff games and had like 50 playoff catches. The real good actual playoff tight end who's produced and won football games in the postseason is Gronk, and Gronk was a Patriot, and then with Brady down with Tampa Bay. So I'm out on drafting Kyle Pitts, even though I think he's going to be a good player. I just don't think he's worth the high price of number 3 overall. I think I'd rather get a quarterback at 3 instead of taking Kyle Pitts. Good question, though. That one makes you think. Justin, super chat, right to the front. What up, Justin? I appreciate you being here every week. Why is no one talking about how smart Fields is? Didn't he test higher QB IQ than even Mahomes? Yes, he has a higher IQ than Mahomes on the Wonderlic, even though the Wonderlic to me is kind of a dumb test. It doesn't necessarily guarantee anything. I think as you put the film on, you see why I don't understand why Fields is getting slandered so much, because you put the film on, and not only does he have great film and to me pretty decent anticipation for running what they did at Ohio State, but he also played for Ohio State against really good teams. Like, that's my big problem right now is, okay, put the Justin Fields tape on and then just put on who he plays against. then put the Trey Lance tape on. No, it doesn't guarantee that you play hard opponents are going to be good, as the cases we saw with guys like Justin Herbert, even though he did play Auburn early on in that season a couple of years ago. But for instance, Josh Allen. Allen didn't play a lot of good teams, and he turned out to be good, so it doesn't guarantee it. But still, we need to understand that it just doesn't make sense why the slander for Fields is so high. But you are right. He did have a very high wonder lick, higher than Mahomes, but I don't think that guarantees anything. Another super chat we're rolling here from Hitman. Why don't the Niners draft the best player in college football last year, Devonta Smith, create the greatest offense ever, honor Jimmy's contract? Man, it's tough. I wouldn't argue. I think he was really good last year. I think Jamar Chase was better in 2019 in that LSU offense. The problem is you have to justify taking another wide receiver that early, right? When Deebo Samuel and Brandon Ayuk were already really good. Like, if Ayuk or Samuel weren't good and they had one decent receiver, then yeah, I would be all for drafting Devonta Smith. But we can sit back here and understand that the 49ers wide receivers are honestly pretty good. Like, I feel really, really good about where they currently stand at a wide receiver standpoint, even if they don't add anybody. Hurt at number 3, Ayuk at 2, Deebo at 1. So it's just not necessarily a need. And I think for the Niner team, you need to draft your needs, especially when you're that close to being back to a Super Bowl caliber roster, if not already there, instead of drafting the best player available. Okay, before we go ahead and move on, there's still some t-shirts that are on sale right now, some of which up to 65% off. Go to chatsports.com/49 shirt. As you see, how about the NFC Championship t-shirt from a couple of years ago? It is on sale like crazy. If you don't want that one, you might already have it because you probably should have bought it. How about a Vineyard Vines one? I know for all the college age guys out there rocking the Vineyard Vines, I bet producer Sam used to rock a lot of Vineyard Vines back in his day, as he's saying no, but I wouldn't be too sure up at Oklahoma. But there's an official 49er one you see here, and even this one. This is my favorite one right here. How about the Defensive Rookie of the Year t-shirt with citing Nick Bosa? This and more, men's and women's sizes, long sleeve, short sleeve, a whole bunch of different 49er t-shirts are all, or most of them at least, are on sale up to 65% off. Chatsports.com/49 shirt is the place to go. That link will, of course, be down below. And when the shirts are 65% off and it's summertime, basically it's getting hot out there, you're going to want to get some short sleeves and be ready to rock in terms of your 49ers. As I have been going, it's so hot outside right now. Like, it's ridiculous. It's t-shirt only, and we're just early April right now in Atlanta. But I guess that's how it works in the South. I'm sure it's a little bit colder up north, but still, t-shirts are coming. Go ahead and pick up yours right now. All right, next question here is from Leslie. Leslie, welcome to the show. You say, Jimmy G starts for us this year, and the quarterback we get in the draft, if we get one, sits on the bench for a year to learn, going in only if we need it or at the end of the season, backup. I think that's going to be a possibility, but I do think if you take a quarterback at number 3, that eventually they're going to play this year. I think the hope would be that Garoppolo is really good and he wins 10 games and goes to the postseason, and then, you kind of play out his contract that way you can get what you pay for in terms of his deal. But I do think that the fan base will call for Justin Fields if they draft him, and eventually Garoppolo will either get injured, knock on wood, I don't want him to, but it's a possibility, or he'll struggle enough with a couple of bad interception games to where they'll put Justin Fields in, especially if he's been good during training camp. So that would be the ideal scenario to let him sit, but I just don't think it's possible here in the modern NFL. Daniel says, chances on drafting Troy Warner second round, I'd say pretty slim. I know everyone wants Troy Warner. It's Fred Warner's little brother, but they're really good at linebacker right now. And the reason is, one, the brother, right? Fred Warner's really good. But 2, Trey Warner is really, Dre Greenlaw is really good too. So I think they're fine overall at linebacker. We have another super chat here from Colder Mage. What round the Niners have to draft a corner, and who would you be available then? Honestly, I am all for the second round being the spot to get a cornerback. There are a lot of really good cornerbacks in the second round. I love Asante Samuel Jr. I think he's fantastic. I put him in my mock draft a couple of days ago. I really, really like Creed Humphrey. Sorry, not Creed Humphrey. Sorry. I like Eric Stokes out of Georgia. And then the one from Washington, I'm blanking on his name right now, but he is really good as well. There are a lot of good cornerbacks that you can go ahead and get in the second or third round. And so I really think it's Elijah Molden. Thank you. That's the name. Yeah, Molden's the Washington cornerback. Washington always has good cornerbacks. But there are at least 2 or 3 that are going to be there in round 2, right about the time the Niners are going to go ahead and pick. And so I'd be all for taking one of them. D-Man Dooney says, if it happens, probably won't. Who'd you take, Harris or Asante Samuel Jr.? For sure, Asante Samuel Jr. I love Najee Harris. You just don't need him, right? He's just not a big need because you already re-signed Jeff Wilson. Of course, you have Mostert under contract, and then you undrafted free agent Michael Hasty. So running back's not really a big need. I would only take a running back if, you're in the 6th round and Chuba Hubbard's still there out of Oklahoma State. But other than that, I'm out on drafting Najee Harris. Tom says, with Robert Saleh now the Jets, the 49ers know what they are doing at number 2. Yes, for sure. For sure. Well, I don't think Saleh is even the reason. They just traded Sam Darnold. So obviously they're going to go and draft a quarterback. I think GM Joe Douglas said they're going to take a quarterback. So it'll be Zach Wilson. We all know that. So I don't think it's Saleh indicating that. I think we just kind of know and fully understand it from a draft perspective. Again, make sure you guys are subscribed to the 49ers Report. Free news and rumors. Of course, draft news. We get closer and closer to the draft, and we'll have live coverage here on a lot of our different channels at Chat Sports during the draft. I'm sure you'll see me a part of that as I was last year. Over 1 million people watched our live draft coverage here on Chat Sports. So make sure you guys are subscribed to this channel and turn the notifications on as well for the latest 49ers draft news and rumors. And of course, as I always say, it's your free one-stop shop for everything 49ers. And that's the best you could possibly ask for, in my opinion, instead of having to pay for something or wait for ESPN to find out about your football team. All right, next question here comes from Mr. Murder. I would say that. Any chance Jimmy G can stay healthy? I don't know, right? I mean, what are the chances it's sunny out tomorrow? Pretty good, but not for sure, depending on where you live. I mean, I don't know. That's the analogy I just used. I think it's supposed to rain in Atlanta tomorrow. Yeah, I hope he does. And I mean, truly, people think that because you take a quarterback at 3, that you kind of want the starting quarterback to struggle. That way you can get the rookie in there. I'm the exact opposite. I want a Patrick Mahomes situation where Alex Smith plays the entire year and then they get Mahomes into the final game. And then you can go ahead and give Mahomes the rest that he needs, or at least the time he needs to figure things out. So I hope Garoppolo stays healthy. But as we've seen, history likes to repeat itself. And the history that we've seen so far is that he cannot stay healthy. So, what are you going to do? Bruce says, I have a feeling we could possibly draft Wilson. The Niners may know something, but it's not. If not, it's better be Fields over Jones. I would agree 100% with that. I don't think that it's likely that Wilson will be there. I'd say 95% he's going to be a Jet. But if he's not, then I'm all for taking him. But if he's gone, then take Justin Fields. I think that would be a good choice for the 49ers. Okay, what's the best move the 49ers have made this offseason? What do you think? I asked this question like a month ago, but I'm curious where you guys are at with it right now. The best move the 49ers have made this offseason, let me know in the comment section down below. I'm trying to think right now. I think getting Trent Williams was huge. I think that was a really good signing by San Francisco, but I want to know what you guys think. What was the best move the 49ers have made so far this offseason? Let me know down below in the comment section. Okay, let's go to a couple more here. Hero says, the 49ers still have wide receiver Charles Benjamin. He signed a 1-year contract. The 49ers opt out 2020 during the pandemic. I don't think so. I'm not 100% sure, though. I'll be honest. Looking at a depth chart, I don't think he's still on the roster, but I think he still has to go ahead and honor the contract. So I don't know. I'll have to look it up for you. DM me on Twitter. I'll give you an answer on Twitter because I am not sure if Benjamin is still there. DT says, think that Kyle will change the offense if he drafts Fields. No, I wouldn't. I keep the offense exactly the same. Run first, boot action with Justin Fields, but now he has the ability to run where Garoppolo didn't in the past. I keep it the exact same. I really do trust Kyle Shanahan. I think that's important to go ahead and think about. We all trust Kyle Shanahan, and so wherever they go, whether it's Mac Jones or Justin Fields, they will make sure the offense is the best it can be for that quarterback. But I think Fields would be great in the Kyle Shanahan system. And Fields has said so himself he'd like the Kyle Shanahan system. So has Zach Wilson.